Well, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a bunch of different Grayscale trusts today for crypto. We're going to be going over 6 of them. We're going to start off with G-Link for Killer B, BCHG for Grand View Stalls and LTCN, ETCG for Squirrel House, Zcash on Grayscale Trust for J. Owen, File G for Our Life, and that's it. Let's get started on this. So let's compare Link first. I like to look at the underlying assets sometimes, and I know you requested that anyways, but looking at Link, I think it wants to move up higher. I do. You broke out of this major consolidation. It's not major, but it's significant. It's pretty significant, this consolidation phase. You can see my cat down here, maybe. Broke above it, finding support at the resistance areas. You look like you want to go higher. Maintaining readings in the overbought zone. Like I like all of it, man. So Link does look like it's pressed to go higher. So that gives me a bullish bias on G-Link already. And look at that, 35% to the upside this week. Unfortunately, I was unable to get to this yesterday, but hey, it pumped a little bit. Yeah, I don't see any reason why I couldn't go higher. If it's doing this before Link moves up, it's going to move up even more when Link does decide to move up more. And there was somebody else, I think her name was Christy. Christy, you were talking about the premiums for Grayscale, and I wanted to go over that for you. So the way that you measure the premiums, just in case anybody is curious as to like what the premiums are, like what that means, because when you get into a new space, when you first get into something, dude, I understand the terminology is confusing sometimes, but it's simple stuff. Once you know it, you know it. It's just like it's like learning a new job. Like if you don't know what you're supposed to, like if someone doesn't tell you what to do, you're not going to know how it's done. So that might be a bad analogy, but let's see. We're going to go to, for this sake, let's go to GLNK Grayscale. And we'll calculate the premium right here. This way, hopefully it embodies a more or less a definition for you, Christy, and for anybody else out there who's wondering what we mean when we say premiums or discounts. So G-Link right here, it's a Grayscale trust. Grayscale, they buy Chainlink. They physically buy Chainlink. You don't buy it. You buy their trust, their stock in their trust, which is GLNK. It's the stock behind the trust. And this is at a different price than Link, right? There's probably less of them in total circulation. So beyond that, also it's got less liquidity, so it's more volatile. That's why you see these bigger moves. Link right now, we saw it's been sideways for the past few weeks, but G-Link's moving up. That's because Link looks bullish. G-Link in anticipation that's going up because it's just got less liquidity, and people know that, if you're bullish here and there's less liquidity, it's going to move the price up. You're going to see premiums, and this is where the premiums come into play. So I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining. I know what I mean. Sometimes I find it hard to get people to know what I mean. I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't know if you know what I'm trying to say, but I'm going to try here. Okay, so they buy Chainlink. They own Chainlink. This is the amount of Chainlink they own per share of GLNK that they offer. Okay, that's the amount they own. So for every one share of G-Link, and this goes for every trust, I'm just using this one because this is the first one. For every one share of Chainlink, they have 92. Sorry, one share of G-Link, they have 92.7% of one Chainlink. If we look at Chainlink right now, Link, right? That means for every one G-Link, every one GLNK here over here, they own 92% of this. So actually, if we look at G-Link again, the price right now is $169. That means that if for one share it's worth $169, but Chainlink, this is where we're putting it together, Chainlink's worth this. That means that they are selling at a higher rate than what their value according to the trust is. That's the premium. So they're selling at a hell of a premium, right? And we're going to do the math on that right now. And it even tells us here, actually, I think. Let's see. So NAV price, native price per share, it's not accurate actually, because it should be 1829, maybe, or it should be 1975. Maybe that just happened recently. I don't know where they're getting that price from, but that's what they're saying Chainlink costs. That's what this means. It's like their what does NAV stand for? I know what it stands for, but let's see, definition. It's like native asset value. Is that? Yeah, that's native asset value. Okay. NAV share per whatever. Okay, so let's see. Is there a way to see the premium? Does it say it on here? It does not. Well, if you want to do the premium, basically what you would do is you do 169 divided by that, and I believe you get your premium. So let's do Google Calculator. I hope this all makes sense, man. I know I'm taking a bit of a detour, but just, you know, I want to help someone out with what is essentially a pretty basic question, but sometimes people feel like they can't ask the basic questions because they feel like someone's gonna make fun of them, or like it's like, dude, we were all there. Like, every single one of you at one point had to look up what NAV meant, right? You didn't know what that meant at some point. I know whenever I started, man, when I got into crypto, I had to look up what they meant by platform, like different platforms. So like, is that a coding thing? Like I didn't, and I'm like I was like in high school at that point, or just graduated high school. Like I knew what a platform was, but like it seemed so weird. It's like, it almost feels like they're speaking a different language, and it kind of is. So I never, for anybody out there who has what seems like a silly question, please feel free to ask it, because it's or a basic question. Maybe I shouldn't even say silly, a basic question. I'm happy to answer it because we were all there. You're trying to learn. I'm not going to dox you for that. I'm not going to try and make you feel like how do you not know this? Like, because you just don't fucking know it. You don't know it until you know it. Anyways, 1829, 1699. Let's do this. Hold on. 169, 49. That's what they're saying G-Link costs, right? And you divide that by, if we're going off of what they say, I mean, that's not even true, because this is what Chainlink's worth right now. So we're going to say this, 19.788. If you take by the Grayscale, it might say differently, but that's not accurate. That's not what the NAV price is. Oh, but it's per share. That is right. I'm sorry. Oh man, I've done all this so confusingly already. That is right. Because it's 92%, it's not 1. If this was 1, that's why it's a little less. It's close to the number, but okay, so nope, we're gonna have to do that. I'm sure some of you out there were like, what are you doing? No, it's because it's 92. I figured it out, man. I figured it out. Okay, 1829. That is the premium. This is the premium. Right now, G-Link is trading at 9.26x what it should be trading for its value defined by the trust, how many link they incorporate per share. And people are like, why does that happen? It's because people value these trusts, right? Because it's another means to get into crypto, and there is less liquidity in there, right? There's absolutely less liquidity, so prices get driven higher, essentially. It's a different market, if that makes any sense. So it's just part of it. I mean, there might be other reasons too that I'm not thinking of, and there probably are, but that essentially is like the fundamental reason for, in my opinion, why that happens. But yeah, so that's the premium. If you ever want to calculate the premium yourself, all that to get to all those horrible explanations probably on my part, you just essentially take this number, the market share, divided by the NAV price, and then whatever number you get, that's your multiplier, that's your premium. If it comes out to be a decimal, that means that you're at a negative. You're at a negative premium, right? Or like essentially not a premium. It would be a discount. That's what it is. And then, like, let's say you were, instead of 169, it was worth 11. You did 11 times 1829. Now instead of I said 11 times, my bad. 11 divided by, I swear guys, I'm sober. 1829, you get a decimal. So now you're at a 60%, or technically you would be at a 40% discount, I believe. Because if you did 100, if you did 1 minus 60, I hope that all makes sense, man. I'm getting caught up. I'm not gonna restart the video. It's already, I feel like, too much information on there. So that's that. But for what it's worth, I do think Chainlink looks like it wants to move up. I think G-Link looks like it wants to move up as well. So without any more ados on that, let's get into some other ones. How high is G-Link going to move? I don't know, man. You're in newfound territories. You're expanding higher. You're above your 1618. Let's see. You're at 169 now, man. You could go to 200 or 287. I don't think you're going to reach for 287 until Chainlink itself breaks out. But whenever Chainlink breaks out, you'll probably see this thing move up to 287, which is over $100 from here. So that's what you have to look forward to. Let's talk about BCHG now. I'm not going to go into extreme details on every single coin like that, because obviously I don't need to answer that same question over and over again, and I was trying to be not confusing, but I swear I ended up being confusing. But it's what you get, man. It's how we're rolling. So you're in the 61869 area on this week here. You very well could find resistance here. You have high here, lower high, higher highs throughout. That is bearish divergence. You're having a lot of volume come in now, and that's because, you know, BCH broke out in itself. So could you go higher? Sure. I think you're coming to the end of it though. 110% in a week though. Good job. Volume's dying off. You have bearish divergence presenting itself, but it's not confirmed. Really, you know, even if it is confirmed, if today were to close red, which right now it says red, but you're up 6%. Or it already did close red. Sorry, I forgot I'm making it later in the day. You can move back down to about $6. You're at $8.69. You don't have to fill this gap. In fact, I don't even know if you're going to fill that gap, man. You might touch back on this high, something like that. That might be your biggest potential drop, is all the way down there at about $5.14, and then move up from there. But you might not even go there. You might go, well, exactly like what you did there. You found support on your 618 today, guys. I didn't even see that. You found support on your 618. You back tested and came up. You want to go higher. BCHG wants to go higher. So you'll probably go to your like 1130 area. I mean, you're probably going to go. I mean, yeah, you've got higher to go. How much higher to go is hard to say. This thing likes to move up in a short amount of time, though, and it likes to do it a lot, you know. So I don't know, man. If you were to move down, I think 630 is where you'd go. But if you were to move up, I'd say as high as 1135. I think you're going to find turbulence within this area and have to pull back at some point, but you look good for more or less like immediate continuation. So that's that. LTCN now, the Grayscale Litecoin Trust here. Litecoin. And I guess let's look at BCH real quick too. We'll do a quick little crypto look at all of them. Yeah. Wait. On Coinbase, yes. Dude, this 3 hour looks just like, does it not? Do you guys see what that looks like? What? You see this? If you've been looking at the BCH chart for the last months, you know what this looks like, right? Like here, I'm not making this up. Put this in your head. I'm going to blow it up bigger, right? Put that in your head right now. Keep that look. And now let's go to the weekly, okay? Was that not what we just did here? Like, is that not the same look right here? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that like absolutely crazy? So like if you take this into consideration, right? We broke out over here on this part of the pattern when it started doing this. Look at the 3 hour. Look at like, okay, I guess though we're not quite up at the high yet, are we? It looks similar. I don't know. Maybe I'm geeking over nothing. I don't know. It kind of looks similar to me, man. But obviously it's not going to be 100% the same. But anyways, I think you're going higher. I think if you go lower, it's going to be by barely any. Let's look at the 3 hour RSI looks fine. 4 hour RSI looks good. Looks really good actually. Daily RSI is killer, dude. Yeah, I don't think you're going lower than these lows. You're getting ready to move up. That was a nice check back. Let's look at the weekly again. Literally tipped. Did you even tip it? You barely. Like you tipped the area of resistance here, right? Area of resistance back here. Area of resistance here. Resistance there. Resistance there. Checked back a significant point, more or less. And then you're looking like you want to have a full recovery, man. This is a really bullish look. I know how it started. It was not ideal for a lot of people, but look, you hit your 382, bro. You tipped. I didn't even know that. You barely missed it, actually, right? Just barely. Were you above it, I think? Yeah, just barely. That's actually a more bullish look. Dude, you're going higher, guys. Where are you going to go? Top to bottom. Shout out to the Dragon Riders, by the way. We'll see you at $600 to $700 next week. Yeah. Next, like in this month of March, probably at this rate, it's the 8th. I would bet around the 20th, if not sooner. We're going. So if BCH looks like that, BCHG is going to go up higher. I might have been too limited in my assumptions saying that we go to 1117. Maybe we're working our way all the way up to 1870. Here you are at 869 right now. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of you have been saying you've made money that you didn't think was possible, and you're grateful for Ethan, you're grateful for me, and I appreciate that. I'm sure Ethan does too, but man, you guys are the ones taking the opportunity. You're the one putting your money in this thing. You're the one taking on the risk. This is you. You want to thank us, and that's I appreciate it. And again, I'm sure Ethan does too, but you're the one taking the opportunity, right? And if it goes up here, I know it sounds crazy right now, but man, if you just hold, you're gonna, as much money as you guys have been making right now, man, it's gonna skyrocket. I don't know. I think BCH looks like it wants to move up a whole nother like $100+ from its current price. So I'm just saying, I don't know, anything between like 1120 1820 to 1870 is going to go up, man. You guys are about to kill it. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, I'm getting caught up in the I don't know. I'm getting caught up in the I don't know, man. Let's see. In the excitement, let's call it that. Top to bottom here. 2350, 3139. Good job. 1987. Dude, yeah, very, very bullish. Very, very bullish RSI. I like that RSI a lot. A lot. So you broke out. You're testing this. You're kind of like consolidating around it for a day. Not much. You could absolutely just continue to build higher like this in a nice steady line. Essentially, I think you're going up to 23.56, if not 31.40. You're at $20 now. You could see prices all the way up at $54. It depends on what Litecoin does, right? It depends on what, and Litecoin can be boring and LTCN still moves up. We've seen that before. We've definitely seen that before. Hell of a drop, hell of a recovery. This drop did test back at kind of previous areas of resistance and support, so I think it's somewhat significant too. If we take a top to bottom here, all the way back down to your 61869 area, the fact that you're going to close this week above the 1272 is a really good sign, in my opinion, for immediate continuation. So seeing a price up at $113 to $102, somewhere in that area, if not higher, yeah, I think so. I genuinely do. So yeah, Litecoin's looking like it wants to move up more. I could see LTCN doing some good stuff. You're at $20 now. Maybe you do. Maybe you go all the way up to 54. And probably not, I wouldn't say in the same amount of time as Bitcoin Cash does, but that might be, maybe you move up here, maybe you move down, you know, like stuff like that. And then sometime in like the middle of this year or later, like who knows, and you kind of fulfill this like curve that you've got going. I don't know. I'm painting a pretty picture. It doesn't have to look that pretty though, you know, but nonetheless, I think you are in the move. This is kind of a small range to draw. I think you are in the move of something bigger than just 23 to 31. Let's look and see if we can find something that would agree with that. Maybe like the overall. Nope, that was not the high. That was a very poor attempt at getting the high. Look at that, 2272. Right there with your 618, right there with your golden ratio. You just broke above, like convincingly you're breaking above your 382. Yeah, 61 to 91. That's where you want to go ultimately before you see like a solid consolidation phase. Like, and what I mean by solid is like this, right? That was 1, 2, 3, 4 months really, and then you broke out on the 5th month. Here you consolidated for 1, 2 months. On your 3rd month, you're starting to move up, and really it's like 3 months and a week because you've just started to move up this week technically. So yeah, before you see another like multi-month consolidation, I think I would think at least you hit $32 at least there, but I think you're making a move all the way up to 61, 91, somewhere in that area. Yeah. Good job, LTCN. Good job, Grayscale holders. You guys are looking good, man. ETCG, talking about it here. Also another very bullish look. I really do like the monthly RSI. You are just now getting overbought. The last time that you got overbought was here, right? It was after this month. You saw, I mean, 34% is what it says, but that was your topping point. Technically, you opened up and within that month, you moved up 172%. So you could see some crazy things right now, you guys. You're just now getting into that overbought zone on the monthly, assuming this month closes green. You have 19 days, 21 hours left, so there's still a lot of time, essentially 20 days left. I like the weekly RSI. I really do. It looks very, very bullish. Kind of top heavy. You're at the areas of resistance, so you could chill for a second. It's okay. We'll look at ETC in a second and see if this agrees. Yeah, I think you do. I think you chill. I think you're at 1760. You probably come back down to about $15, and we'll see if you find support there. If you don't, you could go as low as about 1330, and you might find support there. But let's look at that 15 to 1330, that area. Find support and then continue to build higher, because I do think you want to build higher. It's a really nice daily looking RSI, just not in the more immediate term. 3 hour looks like it could roll over as well, yeah. So I guess we can look at the 1. Yeah, 1 hour looks like it wants to go down even more. But I don't trust shorter term time frames. I know some people, man, they trade like the 15-second time frames. They trade the 1 minute time frames, and I look at those and I can get where it is, but like I've accepted that how I am as a trader, how I am as an investor, I think about longer term things, so it messes with me. If I'm like looking at something for comfort that's telling me what to expect over like a certain amount of time, 1 minute time frames are just, it's too short for me. It's like I have to be ready to change my opinion all the time, and some people are better at that. You know, I guess I'm a little bit more set in my ways with my opinions, so Which is also why, as some of you might have noticed, it takes me a while to be convinced, because I'm not just on the first pump, the first day that pumps 26%, I'm not convinced that we're going to the moon. Just like on the day that first day that drops double digits, I'm not going to be convinced that we dump either. We need more than that. So that intermediate stuff, I'm not as good at catching. If you guys haven't noticed that by now, I've definitely noticed that within myself. I actually did a thing on my TikTok. I have a TikTok, guys. I don't use it really anymore. I need to get better about it. But I did a thing for a year where I would talk about my Bitcoin predictions every single month on TikTok. And I wasn't right every single month, but I want to say, like, out of the 12 months, I was right 8 out of 12 times or something like that. So longer term, I'm definitely more accurate than I am not accurate, if that makes any sense. Hold on. Need to look at ETCG. ETC. Because I think ETCG looks like it wants to come down. ETC looks like it could come down too. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you do. You look like you want to come down. So that makes sense. Probably it doesn't get a lower low. You probably at the lowest would go to like $30. You're at 38 now, so a little bit of a drop. But I think ultimately you want to continue higher. Yeah, you're finding resistance at a previous area of resistance. You broke out of your accumulation range. You moved up high. Good job. Now just you take a little break. That's all. Went up to your 1618, perfect. Yeah, it makes sense. You probably $30 right there, your 1272. I bet you don't go below $30. You stay in this extended range. You're probably going to build from there. But ETCG and ETC look like they want to go down. So there's that. ZCSH. Let's look at the underlying crypto first, because I feel like that kind of helps. Looking bullish, bro. Looking real bullish. This is nice. You're looking like you want to move, dude. This is so clean. Look at what you even did right here. You touched back on the golden ratio. You literally touched back on it, and now you're all the way up here. We'll see you at $41 or $50.50 tomorrow. I mean, next week. Like very soon, you're going up here. So that's a good look on Zcash. Let's look at ZCSH. Knowing that it wants to go higher, I would assume, yeah. You're just getting started, bro. You're just getting started, because really what you just broke was like a kind of upward sloping accumulation phase. You got your breakout candle. This is just the beginning. You're going to go higher. Now, is it going to be a straight line? Or are you going to pull back? Are you going to like you're probably going to pull back. You're not going to just move up 100,000% without checking back at some point. So is it a good time to get in? I don't know, man. It's up 79% this week. I don't know if it's a good time to get in, but it could very well be up 179% next week. Like, you really don't know, especially because Zcash looks like it wants to go higher itself. This is where I suppose using relative fibs, relative high to relative low, you look like you want to go higher, bro. But you're at 680 right now. You could see, before you go higher, you could see a 10% drop. You could see as much as like a 30% drop, essentially. Maybe you pull all the way back down. Some of these have pulled back to their 618s. Previous areas of resistance, confirm it as support. You could drop 50%. So if you are buying here, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you're buying here, you need to have a conversation with yourself that says, if it does this for a week or a day or 2 weeks, I need to not sell. I need to buy more, or if I don't have more capital to buy more, I need to sit on my hands and don't freaking sell, man. I bought at a horrible time. Just accept it, and over time, it'll be a great time. It'll be a great time. But I don't know if you're going to get that. I'm just saying be prepared for that, right? It can happen at any time. You are very overbought. It's been happening a lot. Shakeouts are what they're called shakeouts for a reason. Don't get shaken out. But you look like you want to move up to 954 or higher, man. And I want to use another fib just to get this. This is a little bit of a different one. It has your low in there. I mean, you could move up to like, yeah, $13, $9.50 to $13. That's probably where you're going. Zcash, ZCSH, looking really bullish, bro. You really are. The fact that you just broke this, you just broke out of this, right? You can see what I mean by accumulation range, right? It's kind of like upward sloping. It's not as conventional as some are, but I would say you just broke it this week. I would. You just broke it. You were in it since November of 2022. You just broke it. Is this the top? No, it's not. Could it be a momentary high? Could you get a shakeout real quick? It can happen. So just be prepared for that. If you're going to FOMO and buy up here, just be prepared for that, right? But don't count on that, because it could just as easily, again, it could be up 179% next week. You don't know. So hopefully everybody loaded their bags down here. You're not thinking about selling, because it's just getting started, guys. It's just getting started. You don't consolidate this long for like over a year and then break out and that's it after a week, right? Like, I mean, sometimes if it's a fake out, sometimes, but I doubt it. Zcash looks like it wants to go up. So that, I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not losing anybody with that being too confusing. Dude, you look so good. You look great. You look really great. You're at 680. You want to get, you definitely want to go above $10, man. I think so. Yeah. We'll see you probably at these areas right here where you found like support down here. Oh, that's not it. I mean, I guess technically you found support like right there. You found resistance up here, probably somewhere in between that area. That's where you're going. Yeah. Yeah, sure. As high as 17, maybe even higher, because there's more resistance up here, maybe even higher. But I would look there, because you could check for a little bit. Again, why I keep talking about that shakeout area. You are at kind of previous areas of resistance here. You could pull back to these previous areas of support right here, or previous areas of support right here. That's at like 450. That's at 611. You could, but maybe just keep going straight up. So just be prepared for turbulence or a smooth straight shot up. I don't know. Nobody knows. But one thing, in my opinion, is for certain: you're just getting started. You're just getting started. So it does look really good. Good job for all the Zcash and ZCSH holders. File G, not USD. File G. Also looking incredibly bullish. This chart does not have a lot. Somebody made a comment. They said, it seems you're having a hard time determining a top for File G. Is there any way you can do that? And I'm like, it is hard, because this is what I have. It's easier for me to say, I think BCHG could go to 234 or 1400, because we've got this huge, like this, a lot more, and it's not spotty, right? There's not all these gaps. But if we look at File G, it's a different chart. It hasn't existed as long. I don't trust this high as like a cycle high. It happened in 2022. I don't trust that as a cycle high. Your cycle high would have been back here whenever you didn't exist. But I mean, it is the only relative high and low that we have. Basing it off of this, you're already in deep extensions. I don't expect this to get respected all the way up. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe. But I doubt it. With this, you could go as high as 18,000. You might only go to 791, though I doubt that. I think you look good. This is kind of like a parabolic move. It's kind of like a breakout move in itself. It's not enough. There's not enough data to go off of to make a real assumption as to how high it could go. And I actually do want to look at File G Grayscale and just see if there's anything that can be like asserted from the premium. Market price, NAV price, per share. Right. Yeah, dude, you're at an insane premium already, okay? You're at like a 35x premium right now. That's right? That's insane, bro. You're at a 35x premium right now. We've seen insane premiums happen, but they don't last. So as far as all of these Grayscale trusts go, I don't actually know what the premium is on some of them. I know that they're up high, but when you're seeing premiums like that, it really might not be a good time to get in. But who's to say that it can't see an 80x premium? Or like I don't know. These are different kind of assets, man. I really don't know the potential. There's no way to really. It's all FOMO and speculation at this point. How high can it go? It could double. It could double next. Like, I really don't know, man. It could quadruple, quintuple. Like, I really don't know. But I will say that this high of a premium freaks me out a bit. It wouldn't. This is a nice gain. You moved up 100% this week. That's attractive. Less volume than that week, though, and that is not attractive to me. As an investor, as a speculator, I would look for the things with smaller premiums, but with those, you might see less gains overall. It's less risky, but it's less reward. That's how it works, right? Risk versus reward. Anyways, looking at File G, I can't really say much. It looks bullish. I would think you want to continue going higher, but you're really hot right now on weekly and daily RSIs. You could absolutely pull back. You're at 350. You could pull back 50% from here, and it wouldn't hurt you at all. That'd be a higher low, a very bullish higher low. You wouldn't even test back previous areas of resistance to pull a 50% drop from here, and then move up higher. So again, is it a good time to get in? I don't know. I would say no. This one, it might be attractive through the gains, but it's not attractive, in my opinion, through the liquidity and through the premium. What I mean by liquidity is, let's say you're using serious money, you want to put $100,000 into this, or $10,000 even, something like that, right? Or you're trying to get $10,000 out. You're not going to get it at these prices, man. There's not enough volume, in my opinion. But I don't know, man. I feel like that's everything. Let's look at Filecoin itself. We already did. We just looked at it, right? I think so. Did we look at it? Is this from another analysis? I don't know. I feel like we didn't look at it, but it does look like it wants to go higher. You are at an area where you found resistance before out of this whole accumulation range. You're kind of, I think you've already broken out. I think this was your breakout move right here. From this low and up, that's your breakout move. Breakout volume, everything. Kind of another weird accumulation range. Yes, you've got your top here, and it kind of looks like you're still in it, right, if you were to box it in. But I would look at it more like this, kind of like this, right? This like weird little, I don't even know what to call that. That's your accumulation range, and you've broken out of it here. This is your breakout move. So you're at a previous area of resistance. Could you find resistance there? Absolutely, you could. This could be some kind of broadening bottom pattern. I don't know. But let's see here. Top to bottom. Is that a good? Let's look at a different fib. Very hot on the RSI. I would think you could drop Filecoin. You could drop all the way back down to like $8, $8.30. You'd be fine. Top to bottom here. I want to say you go a little higher. You're at 1150. You're getting close, but 1378 around there. Probably a little higher. You could be actually moving all the way up to $17, man. So that's not really a little higher. That's pretty significantly higher, I would say. It's like over 50%, right? No, it's like 40%. Still significant. 40% higher potentially. So File G really could rip, but as much as we want to believe that they're correlated, Filecoin can move up, File G can move down. We've seen that with LCN and LTC and BCHG and BCH. They don't have to move in unison. Counter to that, Filecoin can move sideways and File G just takes off. But all I'm trying to say is, just looking at this fib here for what it's worth. Nope, that's not going to help me. For what it's worth, if Filecoin were to drop from here, it would be quick, and it kind of already did that. Tested back the areas of resistance, confirmed it as support. This look on the fibs, I would very much think that prices just above this 382 are in the bag, and right there, right above the 382, is previous areas of support, which in turn could be tested for turbulence, potential resistance, right? So I really think somewhere around that $16.50, $17.50 area is where you're going. I think you have a little bit more up to go, and then you'll probably see a little correction, but not like a dramatic, nothing like this, nothing like that. Maybe something like this, That's all I got, guys. That's everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the premium talk in the beginning wasn't too confusing. Again, if you're curious as to like how to calculate it yourself, you just take the market price per share. You divide it by the NAV per share, right? That's like your cost, or like your value based on the trust itself, like how many of the underlying asset they have per share and what that value is nominated at. You divide this number by that number, essentially, all the fancy words aside. Divide this by that, bottom by the top, and you get your X. You get your 9.7X, your 2.1X. You get your discount. If it's a decimal, it's a discount is what that means, if it's a decimal, or you did it wrong. But anyways, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.